Guys, welcome to another video. You've got Mr. Everything English, and today guys I am saving lives. I am making sure you guys do not fail your GCSEs. I am going to teach you the correct way of doing question number 5. Everything education. Tuition for maths, English and science. Alright guys, so question number 5. This one is worth 50% of our GCSE. It's a big one. It's worth half of the grades. It's question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. All that put together is worth what this one question is. So question 5 guys is worth 50% of our exam, and therefore it is 40 marks. And for this question we are spending 45 minutes. And this is the only question guys where the exam board tell us how much to write. AQA tell us guys that for this question you are aiming to do 45 minutes worth of work. And this is no, it's not. I was gonna say this is a creative writing question, but I beg you, this is not a creative writing question. If your school, if your teacher, if your dog or if your pet tells you that this is a creative writing question, guys, it's not creative writing. When we're in year 7 and we're in year 5 and we're in year 6, that's creative writing. You write lovely stories where your character goes on a journey and then there's a plane crash and then they end up in an orphanage and then they get superpowers and then their dad comes and saves the day. That was creative writing. When you used to enter BBC competitions, that was creative writing. This is not creative writing. And if anyone ever tells you that, guys, honestly, they're lying to you. They're absolutely lying to you, because this is a GCSE exam. A GCSE exam, unfortunately, it's the system we're in. It doesn't mark creativity because every exam has a criteria. You could be as creative as you want, but if you don't tick that criteria, you're going to fail. And then you're going to wonder, hold on a second, I wrote a lovely story where my character Penny went on a lovely journey. So how come I failed? You failed because you misunderstood the assignment. This is a GCSE exam, and every single GCSE exam has a mark scheme. And this is the mark scheme for this particular question. And if you can see the word creativity, then you win and I lose. But there is not the word creativity, guys. The word creativity is not used even once on the mark scheme. The word plot, the word setting, the word character are not used once on the mark scheme. What does the mark scheme mark you upon? Number 1, guys, your writing has to be interesting. Now the word over here is the word compelling. We're going to ignore that word because that word convincing is for paper 2 question 5. But to get 24 out of 24, our writing has to be compelling. It has to be interesting. And we have to answer the question. So if the question is about, I don't know, write a story about a human meeting an animal, make sure somewhere in your story a human meets an animal. Those two, easy peasy, right? But this is where the exam stops. One of the first things that you're marked upon is you must use ambitious vocabulary. Now, what does the word ambitious mean? It essentially means, guys, you must use big words in your writing. But they put a caveat on this. They say you must have extensive ambitious vocabulary. Now, what does the word extensive mean? It means a lot. So the exam board saying to you, listen, if you want to get 24 out of 24 or 19 or 20, if you want to stand a chance of getting a top band grade 8 or a grade 9 answer, don't complain afterwards. Make sure you have lots of big words. But they tell us that big words by itself is not enough. You must have ambitious vocabulary with what? You must have ambitious vocabulary with language devices, similes, metaphors, personification, sibilants. We must have both of these things together. Language devices plus vocabulary. But then they use another word, guys. They love this, guys. They love this. And they say we must have a crafting of language devices. Now I get why they do that. I'll give you an example. The world's most famous simile is he ran like a cheetah. And the world's most famous personification is the trees were dancing in the wind. Those two language devices are not going to get you a grade 9. because they're rubbish language devices. They're overused language devices. The word crafting, guys, is your quality check. It checks how good are your language devices. So at the moment, in our question 5, it's telling us that we must use a lot of big words with lots of really good language devices. That's the first thing we have to accept and we have to do. If we don't do this, we're gonna suffer in August. Then it says to us, guys, that in our answer, we must use what? We must have structural features. Then, guys, it says that our writing again has to be compelling and that we must link our paragraphs. Now, for this question 5, I'm not really going to talk about these 2 bullet points. I feel as though these 2 bullet points are more prominent in paper 2, question 5. In paper 1, question 5, so long as your story sequentially makes sense from paragraph to paragraph to paragraph, you're gonna end up linking your paragraphs anyway. So let's recap. We must make sure we've got big words in our writing. We must make sure we have lots of good language devices, and we must use structural devices. These 3 things so far. These are the 3 things I want you to consciously be aware of. If we do this, we're gonna get a high mark out of 24. Then once they've marked us out of 24, then they're gonna mark us out of 16. And this is how we form our mark out of 40. 24 add 16 is 40. Thank you, guys, my maths is amazing. Now, what are you marked on when it comes to this side? Guys, AQA is throwing marks away when it comes to this side. First things first, you are marked on your sentence demarcation, and this has to be accurate. All that means is when you end a sentence with a full stop or an exclamation mark or a question mark, whatever you use to end your sentences, just please be accurate. Next one, guys, this is an important one. We must use a wide range of punctuation. We must make sure we have colons, semicolon, exclamation mark, question mark, brackets, all that good stuff. Commas and full stops are not enough. Commas and full stop are an expectation. You should be doing that regardless. But they need some more punctuation. Then, guys, we must have long and short sentences. This one, guys, standard English. I don't want no slang. I don't want no cuzzies. I don't want no bros. Keep it simple. Keep it formal to an extent and write in full English. Then, guys, this is the common sense one. Please make sure your spelling is on point. But it's very important that even our spelling of ambitious words, even our spelling of big words must be correct. And then they repeat it. They repeat. That bullet point over there is repeated over there. So we can tell that for a top band answer, we must make sure that our vocabulary is decent. We can't just have weak answers. Now, guys, I say this because the amount of students that either bring me answers who come to the center or send me answers and they're like, sir, I wrote a lovely 5-page story, but I'm getting a grade 4, I'm getting a grade 5. And the first thing I do, I read only their first paragraph and I check, have they got punctuation? Have they got vocabulary? Have they got language? Have they got structure? I don't even care about their plot or what the character's doing. I'm checking their language. If they haven't got it, I pass it straight back to them because that explains why they're failing. Guys, remember, this is an English language exam, not a story writing competition. Now, just to back how important this stuff is, AQA, guys, on their website, they show us how your GCSEs are marked, and this is the key that they use. Now, this key, guys, if you are ever in doubt, the doubt should now be over. When you look at the website, guys, this is what they mark you using, and they're telling you point blank, this is for teachers. They're telling teachers, they're telling schools, this is what we're marking your students for. It doesn't say characters, it doesn't say settings, it doesn't say plot, it doesn't say excitement. They give you the following bullet points. They say, have you got vocabulary? Have you got language devices? Have you got structured devices? Have you got long and short sentences? And have you got punctuation? This is what is being marked, guys. Nothing else. Spelling is common sense, but I need you guys to really understand that this is what our GCSEs are marked upon. Now, then you have some manifestations. Here's some model answers, guys. So last year, the question was write a story about a human meeting an animal. And this lovely answer is what a student wrote for their GCSEs. And it was published and they got a grade 9. I'm joking, guys, they got a grade -5. The zoo, it is somewhere where you can go with family, friends, partners, or even yourselves. You get to visit all the wonderful animals that the zoo has to offer. This zoo shows you tigers, lions, bears, elephants, giraffe, goats, pretties, oxes, deers, monkeys, and swans. You can always visit their enclosures and learn more about them. You never know, you might find something you didn't already know about them. Now, guys, here is an example of not a good question 5. Here is an example, guys, of not a good question 5. Spelling is weak, language is weak, structure is weak, punctuation is weak, vocabulary is weak, and I don't even know what the person is talking about. Now, here is an example of a grade 9 question 5. Guys, here is an example of a grade 9 question 5. First things first, that is all they wrote. They didn't write anything else. This is all they wrote, guys. Now, this is typed up. If we think about it on paper, this is probably what? 2 sides at a push? It's fine. This got 39 out of 40. 39 out of 40, grade 9. Again, it wasn't marked by me. It was published by the exam boards, but they gave it 39 out of 40. Let's have a read, guys. Fen returned to his seat beneath the palm trees and chirping birds he had become acquainted with in his time beneath them. The chair itself was not the pinnacle of relaxation he had been convinced of earlier on in his life. Its creaks loudly filling the vast emptiness surrounding him. However, it was quite comfortable and his only source of relief from an otherwise disappointing, wasteful, ruthless, hopeless day. Now, that's the first paragraph. Let's mark it. You've got punctuation because you've got a semicolon. I like the vocabulary in the words, like pinnacle is a good word to use. And the word, any other words? Nah, the word pinnacle is a good word, guys. Then you've got language devices, guys. You've got onomatopoeias. You've got the metaphor, and then you've got the structural devices, guys. You've got the list of disappointing, wasteful, ruthless, hopeless day. Now, I'm not going to read all of it, but this kid got a grade 9. And this story is the one that I've shared before. This story is about a guy, a man, waiting for a girl to text back. And that girl never ever replies back to his message. And he feels abandoned. Rubbish plot. That's not an amazing plot. It's literally about a girl not replying to your DM. But this student got a grade 9. They got 39 out of 40. Why did they get 39 out of 40? Because they understood the assignment. They understood that this was a GCSE exam. And they had the vocabulary, and they had the language, and they had the punctuation, and they had the structure. Lovely, lovely piece of writing when it comes to that. So, guys, that being said, you should now be absolutely clear on what question 5 is marking you upon. Question 5 marks you upon your language, your vocabulary, your punctuation, and your structure. Now, I'm going to talk about a very, very controversial topic. Actually, no, let's leave the controversy for a second. Let's go over how you go about planning your question 5. So, if you want to follow me, guys, at home, you can. Draw this on your books and let's plan a question 5 together. So in your exam, guys, for our question 5s, we're aiming for 5 paragraphs. Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in between paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, and in between paragraph 3 and paragraph 4, we are aiming for what, guys? We're aiming for 1-line paragraphs. So we have 2 one-line paragraphs, and then we have 5 main paragraphs. So in total, guys, we're aiming for 7 paragraphs, but 2 of these are 1-line paragraphs. Now, in every single paragraph, we need language, we need vocab, and we need punctuation. So for our punctuation, in paragraph 1, let's use an exclamation mark. In paragraph 2, let's use a question mark. In paragraph 3, let's use a semicolon. In paragraph 4, let's use a colon. And in paragraph 5, let's use brackets. Exclamation mark, guys, is used for emphasis. Question mark is used at the end of a question. Semicolon is used to connect 2 clauses, normally replacing the word and. Because is used to replace colon is used to replace because, and brackets is used for extra information. Now guys, the next one, let's add our ambitious vocabulary. In paragraph 1, I would like you to please use the word indignant. The word indignant simply means angry. It's not a hard word, guys. It's very simple, very straightforward, but the word means angry. And then guys, I would like you to use the word paradoxical. And the word paradoxical, guys, it means strange. Paragraph 2, guys, I would like you to please use the word morose, and the word morose means sad. And then I would like you to please use the word exasperated, and this means fed up. In paragraph 4, guys, I would like you to use the word lackadaisical, and this means lazy. And I would like you to please use the word malevolent. This means evil. In paragraph 4, guys, I would like you to use the word benevolent. This means really, really good. And I would like you to use the word gargantuan, and this means really, really big. And finally, guys, in paragraph number 5, I would like you to please use the word serene, and this word means calm. And I would like you to use the word jubilant, and this means happy. Now, somebody might turn around and say, sir, how can you plan these words? You don't know what the question is going to be. Respectfully, guys, I'm replacing basic adjectives. If you don't know how to use the word angry or the word sad or the word evil or the word big or the word calm in a sentence, then you should not be doing the GCSEs, you should be doing your SATs. Because every single person here, guys, should be able to use these basic adjectives in a sentence. I am so happy, I am so jubilant. I can't believe what he said to me. I feel so indignant, I feel so angry. John was a malevolent person. John was an evil person. All we're doing is we're replacing basic adjectives that can be used in any situation. Now, guys, we want to add language devices. Let's add now some language devices, guys. In paragraph number 1, guys, we can use simile and personification. Remember, guys, simile is when you compare two nouns using like or as. Personification is when you give a non-human human features. Paragraph number 2, guys, can we please use sibilance? Sibilance is when you repeat words in a row that begin with the S letter or the S sound. For example, the snake slowly slithered down the street. And we can use, let's go for rule of 3. Guys, rule of 3 is when you have 3 words or phrases in a row to describe one thing. For example, this room is big, colorful, and beautiful. Paragraph number 3, guys, can we use oxymoron? This is when you have 2 opposite words side by side. And then can we have juxtaposition? And the easy way of creating juxtaposition, which is 2 opposite ideas, is simply explain the oxymoron. Paragraph number 4, guys, can we go for zoomorphism? Zoomorphism, guys, is when you give a human animal features. So if I said Mr. Fisher was so rude, he was barking at me, I'm giving Mr. Fisher the features of an animal. And then, guys, can we please use cremomorphism? Cremomorphism is when you give a human the features of an object. It's the opposite of personification. An easy example you can use is Mr. Fisher's brain was revving 60 miles per hour. That's me giving Mr. Fisher the features of a car. And then, guys, let's end it in paragraph 5. Can we use onomatopoeia? This is when you use sounds to describe, when words describe sounds. For example, creak and crunch. And finally, guys, let's go for hyperbole. And hyperbole is when your writing is over the top. That is language done. That is vocabulary done. That is punctuation done. Now remember the mark scheme, guys. We have one more thing left to do. In paragraph number 2, guys, can I please have a 1-word sentence? For example, last night I had pizza, full stop, amazing, full stop. It was the best thing ever. And in paragraph number 4, can I also please have a 1-word sentence? And in paragraph number 3, can I please have dialogue? Dialogue is speech. Hello, how are you? I'm good, how are you? Can you start a new line every time you do that? And that is all we need for structure. Because the other structural devices, we're going to do them naturally. Naturally, we're going to zoom in, zoom out, shift the focus. But these 3, I consciously want. Now, there's your plan done. That's your plan, guys. I've given you vocab, I've given you language devices, I've given you punctuation, and I've given you 1-word sentences. So, you are ready now to add your story to this. Whether you pre-plan your question 5 or you don't pre-plan your question 5, I beg you, use this. This is the mark scheme, guys. If, like a robot, when you do your exam, in paragraph 1, if you use this, in paragraph 2, if you use, let me zoom in, guys. If, like a robot, you train yourself to use everything that I put on the board in your writing guide, you're going to do so well, because you're going to put the examiner in a position that they have to give you the mark. Remember, guys, this is what you're marked upon. Based upon this plan, we've got the vocabulary. We've got 10 ambitious words, 2 per paragraph. We've got language devices. We've got structural devices. We're going to have long and short sentences. And we've got punctuation. Guys, based upon the plan, we've got everything that we need in our writing. All done, ready to go. And now this, guys, is where I want to speak about the controversy. For me, it's not controversy, guys, but people love making your life hard, and I like making your life easy. Is it plagiarism if you pre-plan your question 5? Guys, it is not plagiarism. It is not plagiarism. If you can find me one student in the history of students who has ever got in trouble for using somebody else's idea and getting in trouble for plagiarism, I'll leave YouTube. I'm done. I'll stop making videos. Because it's a lie, guys. It's not true. Please pre-plan your question 5. It makes your life so much easier. Number 1, people say, oh sir, I got told don't pre-plan question 5 because the examiners don't like it. How are they going to know that you pre-planned it? Are they going to come knocking on your door asking, sorry mate, did you pre-plan this or did you write it on the day? They haven't got a clue. They can't prove it. Number 2, I get told, sir, I got told that if I pre-plan, I'm going to get in trouble because of plagiarism, that I took somebody else's story. Guys, it's an idea. It's an idea. Everyone uses other people's ideas. People copy Harry Potter. People copy Maze Runner. People copy Fast and Furious. You even use your ideas given to you by your teacher at school. Is that not plagiarism? You're using an idea. That is not plagiarism. Because how you bring it to life is what matters. I've given you guys all of this. Does that mean that if you all use this, that's plagiarism? No. Because the way you use the word, the way you use your simile, the way you use your exclamation mark is going to be different. I've just given you the idea. You're going to make it your own. So guys, please, I beg you, don't get lost in the noise. Now, that being said, guys, if you want some pre-planned question 5s to help you, go to www.everythingeducation.co.uk and then click on shop. And once you click on shop, guys, go to free resources. And once you click on free resources, click on story ideas for question 5. And once you click on this, guys, scroll down. And here, what I've done, guys, is I've uploaded, can you guys see this? Let me have a look. Guys, I've uploaded 8 free stories. You've got Priest 1, Priest 2, you've got Priest 3, you've got Keyboard Warrior, you've got Big Mistake, you've got Netflix and Kill, you've got the Amazon package, and you've got Prison Break. You've got 8 free or 9 free stories that you can use for your exams. Take them, use them, tweak them, make them better, but use them in your GCSEs. Now let's just do one together. My first paragraph, you're at home and you're alone and you are watching Netflix and you hear a noise and you go and investigate. That's paragraph 1. Let me explain exactly what I mean is going to happen in paragraph 1. So guys, paragraph 1, your parents have left you home alone for the first time, and you're sitting there watching Netflix and you hear a noise and you take off your headphones and you look around, you're like, nah, forget it. You put the headphones back in and you carry on watching, but the noise persists. So you take off the headphones and you go and check. Paragraph 2, guys, you go to the door and you open it slightly, just slightly. And you look out of the corner of the door and you can see shadows in your living room and you get absolutely scared. So you run back to your bedroom. When you arrive back at the bedroom, you call your family, nobody answers their phone. You call your friends, nobody answers their phone. At this point, you feel absolutely abandoned. You don't know what to do. Why is nobody picking up? So now you need to make the decision. You decide that you must defend your home. Just like Home Alone, guys, you must defend your home. So what do you do, guys? In this paragraph, I describe you getting ready for battle. You look for some weapons, you change your clothes, you make sure you're good to go. In paragraph 5, you go downstairs and you open the door, and what happens next is entirely up to you. For example, guys, these are all the GCSE questions that have ever come up. Last year, the question was about a human meeting an animal. Lots of year 11s who used this idea, they made it that when she went downstairs and when she opened the door, it was a cat that had broken into her house. And that is what was making all the noise, and that was what the shadow was. Some of them guys here write a story about feeling abandoned. She feels abandoned when nobody is answering the phone. She feels as though where is her family gone? An event that cannot be explained. I don't understand why my family is not helping me. I don't know, unlikely friendship. She opens the door. Guys, she opens the door and there's a homeless man who's broken into her house, and rather than call the police and chuck him out, instead they've formed a friendship. Now guys, what's my point? You might say to me, sir, I'm not happy with this story, I want to do something else. That's fine. Pick whatever story you want. Pick whatever story you want. All you got to do is think of a basic plot. One character, one setting, 5 clean paragraphs. And then think about, how can I make this fit lots of different questions? You might say, you know what, sir, I'm going to plan 2 pre-planned stories. And on the day, I'm going to decide which one fits. Guys, look, there is so much benefit in pre-planning question 5. The main benefit is this. You have nothing to lose. If you go to your exam and you've pre-planned question 5 and it doesn't work for you, who cares? You then do what you were gonna do anyway, which is write one on the day. But as a minimum, at least you got this done. But my advice to you guys is this. Here's one plan, right, that I've just done. Decide what plot you're gonna use and plan your 5 paragraph story. It could be this one, it could be one of my others, or it could be one of your own. I don't mind. But plan one story, maybe plan 2. Once you've planned 2 stories or 1 story, write it out. Actually write out the story. Paragraph 1, then the 1-line paragraph, then paragraph 2, paragraph 3, then the 1-line paragraph, then paragraph 4 and paragraph 5. All of this together should be no more than 2 to 3 sides. In every single paragraph, I want 2 language devices, 2 ambitious words, and 1 piece of punctuation, plus the structure. This is the important part. I need all of this inside the story. Once you've written out your question 5s, go back, tweak it, make it better. And then on the day of your GCSE, when you open the paper, go straight to question 5 and write out your story. Tweak it slightly, make it fit the question, and you're good to go. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't fit, then you freestyle on the day like you would have anyway, but still, like a robot, make sure paragraph 1 has this, paragraph 2 has this, paragraph 3 has this, paragraph 4 and paragraph 5. But guys, I'm genuinely being serious. If you pre-plan 1 to 3 stories, it's definitely gonna fit. There's no way it's not gonna fit because the questions are always generic. All right, guys. I hope I haven't missed anything for question 5. When I make these videos, guys, I try to kind of cover everything that I need for you guys. So I hope, guys, I haven't missed anything. If you think I have, drop it in the comments. I'll try to answer, or drop me a DM on Instagram. I will try to answer as much as I can. But this video, guys, honestly gives you everything you need. I've shown you guys the mark scheme. I've shown you guys what AQA marks you on. I've shown you guys model answers, good ones and bad ones. I've planned the question 5 with you. I've shown you all the previous year's question 5s. All you gotta do now is decide. Am I gonna pre-plan? If so, pre-plan and write your response and use it on the day. Or if you're not gonna pre-plan, at least learn this part off by heart. So on the day you have that covered, because remember guys, this is an English language exam, not a story writing competition. Guys, I hope you found the video beneficial. It's been Mr. Everything English. Peace. Everything Education. Tuition for maths, English and science.